Hi, this is Charlie Zeiss with Stargate Pyramids. Today I'm making a video, another how to do it yourself video for those of you who want to make your own pyramids. Last year I did one using plumbing grade pipe and fixtures from Home Depot and Lowe's. Today I'm going to do the same thing with the furniture grade fittings and pipe that I use in my own pyramids that I make and sell to the public. There's two kinds of people in the world. There's those that have more time than money and those who have more money than time. This is obviously for the former group. There's going to be savings that are going to be attractive to some and probably not so much to others. One of the real issues with doing this video has been the fact that when you go to buy furniture grade pipe, you're going to have it shipped to you, and there's going to be a lot of wastage because you can't really ship effectively in 10-foot lengths. But I've decided to go ahead and do this. A number of you keep calling and asking if I make the corner assemblies and so forth, and so I just decided to go ahead and do this video, and you can make your own decisions after you see the costs and decide which way you prefer. If you're looking for a pyramid, at least you'll know what the alternatives are in terms of a do-it-yourself option. So with that said, I'm going to open up and put on the screen here the information that you need. I'm going to assume I'm not going to show you step-by-step how to make a pyramid. If you really need that information, or after the end of this video, go to my other video I did last year, which is it's now the Pyramid Science Foundation YouTube page, which will show you how to make your own pyramid for under $30. Now it's going to use materials from, as I say, Home Depot and Lowe's, but the principles are exactly the same. The piece types are exactly the same, so you can use that as a guide. What I'm going to be doing today is really showing you primarily the pipe cuts that are going to be needed, because that's the missing link in all of this. I put the formulas out here, so there's, this is open source now. You can use this actually to make any size pyramid once you understand the mathematics. So I'm going to go through this and show you. What I have up on the screen are the 4 sizes of pyramids that I currently offer on the website: the small, medium, and large meditation pyramids, as well as the 3-foot pyramid that we sell for plants and pets. So let me go through how this all works out. The math may look a little daunting, but it's really pretty simple. Let's use the small pyramid as our base case, and you'll see how everything works out. You'll see that the small pyramid, its height, which is right underneath it, is 66 inches. That's 5.5 feet. You'll see the medium is 78 inches, and that's 6.5 feet, and the large is 84.7 feet. And of course, the 3-foot is 36 inches. Now, the first column is the base length. Now, because of the specific geometry of these pyramids, the height to base length ratio of a Russian geometry pyramid, and this is what I figured out about 1.5 years ago, so this is all somewhat unique work that I'm putting out here, but that ratio is 2.058 to 1. So when you see a base length for the small pyramid of 32.07 inches, all I've done is use that height in the first column and divided it by 2.058. So that's 66 divided by 2.058 gives you 3207. Now the next column is the base pipe length, not the length, but the length of the pipe that you're going to need for the base. And why is that different? Because you have to put the pipe in short verse into fittings, and those fittings take up space themselves. And as you know, the Stargate pyramids, the way we design the corner assemblies, is not perfectly square, so you've got a 45-degree angle there. I've figured all of this out, and essentially the pipe that you need for each of the 4 base pipe pieces that you're going to need will need to be 3¼ inches less than the actual base length itself. So what I've done to determine the base pipe length is to take BL, or base length, and subtracted 3.25 inches from that to get 2882. Now I've done that. It's the exact same exercise for all of the other sizes of pyramids as well. Now it's going to be a little strange, but we're going to jump from that second column all the way over to the final column and talk about it for a second, which is the ratio of edge height to base length. Now the edge height means these vertical pieces. That's what we're talking about when we talk about edge height. And in all cases, just like the ratio of height to base length is 2.058, the ratio of edge height to base length is 2.176 in each case. So if we now move one column to the left from the far right edge, we've got edge height. And the edge height is equal to the base length times 2.176, or 6978. So again, 32.07 times 2.176 will get you to 6978 for your edge height. Now, the next two columns, the two middle columns, are the last two we're going to discuss. You're going to need to decide, if you want to make your own pyramid, whether you want this vertical piece of pipe to come in one section or in two. I always make mine in two, just to make the shipping easier and less expensive, and also to make it easier to transport if you care to move it from place to place. So that's the reason why I do it in two pieces. But you do have the option of making one vertical piece for each of the vertical pipes in the pyramid. And if you do that, then you're going to just take the edge height that we calculated, again for the small pyramid, is 69.78, and you'll subtract 1.5 inches from it to come up with 68.28. Now, if you want to do as I do, and you can see in my pyramid, I have these external couplings that I use to connect my two vertical pieces together. You need to account for the fact that the coupling itself, the coupler, is going to take up 1/2 inch of space. So the sum of the two pieces of pipe will sum to an amount which is 1/2 inch less than the total vertical piece length that we established in the fourth column as 68.28 inches. Hope I'm not going too fast, but essentially, again, if you look at the equation under the column two-piece vertical pipe length, you'll see TVPL, which is the total vertical piece length, minus 0.5, that's the net amount of space that's taken up by the external coupling. You subtract that, and then whatever you end up with as a result, you divide by 2, and in this case, that's 3389. So just to do the math in my head, you take 68.28, subtract 1/2 inch from that, so that's 67.78, and then you divide that by 2, and you get 3389. So now we've calculated the two pieces of pipe lengths that we need. We'll need a base pipe length of 28.82, and then for the vertical pieces, and we'll need 4 of those, by the way. You always need 4 pieces of base pipe. For the vertical pipe, if you're going to make cut it in half and have 2 vertical pieces, then for the small you'll need 8 pieces at 3389, or 4 pieces at 68.28 if you decide to keep the vertical piece as one single piece of pipe. And then we can go through and you go through the exact same methodology. You can you may want to take a screenshot of this and study it, but that's exactly the way this works throughout. Now I have bolded the appropriate pipe lengths that you're going to need so that you don't confuse them with the base length or the edge height and so forth. So you'll see that in all cases the base pipe length is in the second column, is bolded, and for the vertical pieces, I've assumed that you're going to use the two-piece version like I do, and so we have that calculated for the first three in the third column, but it shows up actually in the fourth column before, because the piece is so short that there's really no reason to cut it in half. So you can hold that, you can use that piece of pipe, you know, and carry it around pretty effectively at 36.56 inches. And if you're making that 3-footer, therefore, and you want to do it with just one piece, you'll only need 4 vertical pieces of pipe for your pyramid. So hopefully that's been helpful in terms of the pipe cuts. But again, just if you want to make a pyramid also that's a different height than the 4 that I've listed here, all you have to do is follow the mathematics. You come up with whatever height you want to start with, and then you use these formulas that I've showed you, and you can work through it. So if you wanted a 60-inch pyramid, for example, rather than a 66, you'd start in the first column, you'd divide 60 by 2.058, and you'd get a number. It'd be a little under 30, like 28 inches, somewhere in that range. You'd take 60, that result, multiply it by 2.176 to come up with your edge height. You'd subtract 1.5 inches to come up with your total vertical piece length. And then once again, you would subtract 1/2 inch and then divide by 2 to come up with your 2-piece vertical pipe length. So you can just follow the numbers and the formulas here. And if you have any questions, just go through the math with one that's already done, and to make sure that you understand the calculations and the methodology before you venture on to making your own sizes. So with that said, the only other information that you need, the other pieces that you're going to need fittings. You're going to need 8 45-degree fittings. These are called elbows. You're going to need 4 what are called slip tees. The manufacturer, on their website, they're called TLs. You'll also need 4 dome caps and 4 external couplings. And again, I'm doing this with 3/4 inch pipe. If you vary from that, the couplings sizes are going to change, and so all of the other dimensions that we have gone over today would be different. So please don't call me and say, well, I want to do this with a 1.5 inch pipe, and expect that, or wonder why the fitting, the ratios and so forth don't work out. This has to be done with 3/4 inch pipe for this to work. The only other thing you're going to need to build your basic pyramid is a zip tie, a 12-inch zip tie. We go through this in the other videos, but you'll need to drill holes through the top of the vertical pieces and use that as a mechanism for holding the top of your pyramid together. If you want the quartz sand option, you're going to need about 5 pounds of sand. As we've mentioned before, we use aqua quartz. That's available on Amazon. It comes, unfortunately, in 50-pound sacks, which is way too much for what you need. But you can use equivalent types of sand that you may have available to you. And in addition, to hold the pipe or the sand inside the pipe, you're going to need 8 number 8 corks. So you're going to need those as well. And again, go back to the video I did last year to see how you put the sand into the pipes and so forth. Now, the estimated cost of this It's going to depend on the size, and also the way you decide to ship. So there's a lot of variables, and the color. The black is going to cost more, but it's about $120 plus shipping. And that, again, does not include the sand or corks that you may put into it. I do that for $30 when I make the pyramids myself. And you may find that by the time you try to buy this, it's going to cost you more than I would charge you to put the sand in. But if you've got access to sand and so forth, then it may be inexpensive enough that it's worth your while. Same thing with the corks. I know when you go out, you go to the hardware store, you go on Amazon, those are going to cost you about $1.25 each, and I get them for 11 cents. So you can see why there's value to having me do it. But for those of you, who want to do this, I'm trying to give you the information. Now, finally, where to get this these materials, this pipe and fittings. I have been suggesting and been referring for over a year to a company called FormuFit. You'll find them on Home Depot's website. You'll find them on Amazon. I have been getting some complaints about the quality of their customer service. People were complaining that they were not, they didn't have any live customer service reps, and you couldn't get questions answered and so forth. So I actually tried them recently for an order of pipe. I'm making some larger pyramids for some customers on a custom basis. And I have to tell you, it was an absolute horror show. So I cannot, under any circumstances, recommend that you order your pipe from FormuFit. If you have questions, they're just not available to answer questions. And I've complained about this. I had to redo my order with C&S Plastics, which is actually FormuFit's supplier in any event, and they've taken care of me. And that's why I'm part of the reason I'm making this video now. I have specifically talked to them, and they are happy to do small orders such as these for customers. So I would strongly recommend that you use C&S Plastics to get your products. It's the exact same product. They are the manufacturer for FormuFit, and you get to talk to a live human being. So I think it's well worth it, and their prices, quite honestly, are probably a little bit less than you're going to get from FormuFit. So with that said, you can go to cnsplastics.com, and if you'd like, you can check out the cost of your products, and also you can talk to somebody there at 1-800-476-0823. In terms of ordering your pipe, the thing that you're going to have to think about and talk to the customer service people about, the cost of shipping pipe goes up dramatically after it hits a length of 8 feet. And a lot of times you'll see that this pipe is measured in lengths of 5 feet. So, or comes in 5-foot lengths. So you're going to want to figure out kind of a way to optimize all of that. You're going to need to kind of do that yourself. The estimated cost that I've assumed assumes that you buy your pipe in 5-foot sections. And in a lot of cases, for the 3-foot, I think you can get away with a lot less than that 3-foot pyramid. But that's essentially the easiest way to order it is in 5-foot lengths. So, but you can talk to somebody there and ask them to give you some ideas. Tell them, what lengths you may want off of the sheet, and they may actually be able to. They will custom cut it for you as well. So that will probably cost a little bit more, but it may be well worth it to those of you who are not so inclined to want to try to cut your own pipe. So the last thing I think I forgot to mention on the earlier page at the bottom, all pyramids also need 4 pieces of 3-inch pipe to make the corner assemblies. The corner assemblies are consist of the slip T, which is in the middle, and on each side is the 45-degree elbow piece. Holding those three pieces together, you need to have a piece of 3-inch pipe. So when you're doing your calculations, remember you're going to need 4 pieces of 3-inch pipe, irrespective of all of the other pipe needs that you're going to have for your pyramid. So with that said, that's really about it for this edition. And if you have any questions, please feel free to call me. But please try to do the math if you're going to do another size other than the ones here first before calling me to ask me to do the math again for you. So, but I will be happy to help you if you tried and you still have some questions. So I thank you for listening. And again, as always, tell your friends about Stargate Pyramids, Pyramid Science Foundation, and have your friends and yourself subscribe and ring the bell so you'll get information on our videos as they come out. I thank you for watching, and you have a great day.